Good morning, everyone. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, guys, what a night, what a day, what a world. Get ready for fireworks. Americans, you are not ready. No, you are not, good sir. Americans, you guys are not ready for what is coming. So Mamdini now has won the election in the United States, and he is the mayor of, he is now the mayor of New York. Also, ladies and gentlemen, this passed me by and I didn't connect these dots. But what I'm going to give you guys is I'm going to share with you guys in a minute two articles, one from the BBC and one from the Telegraph. So I'll read you the headlines real quick, okay? This is on the 27th of, it's not on the 27th, this was on the 3rd of November. But Safi Dawood, 22, is charged with murdering Wayne Broadhurst on the 27th of October. Okay, so he was charged with that murder on the 27th of October. Then on the Telegraph releases an article, man freed under Labour early release scheme is charged with murder. An ex-prisoner who has been sentenced for knife crime charges over an offence in London. Now, look, guys, would that explain the silence? And I'm not claiming it is, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not claiming it is. I don't want to get Lucy Conley. All I'm doing is I'm giving you guys those two articles, and I will come back onto those in a minute. But guys, listen, if you live in the United States right now, look, guys, what a fantastic world we're living in, where we have now mayors of the two biggest cities in the Western world, London and New York. They're both run by Muslims now. And look, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys are from America and you guys want to know what New York's going to look like, I don't know. Would there be a similar situation that happened in another big city? And look how that city is run now. And look, this guy Mamdini, he's talking about socialism. He's talking about how great socialism is. Look. Do you know what? I'm going to do it now for you guys. I'm going to Google real quick how many people have died under socialism. Right, okay, the estimate. Oh, right, okay, this is Jesus. Okay, so I've just done how many people have died under socialism, and I'm just going to read you what AI is telling me right now, guys, okay? So AI is telling me estimate numbers of people who have died under socialist regimes vary wildly, with figures citing as high as 94 million. 94 million. How many people died in the Second World War? Let's ask how many people died in the Second World War. How many people? Jesus. So the total number, okay? So listen, for all those people who are cheering on socialism, yay, we want socialism, yay, socialism. I'm going from the same AI, ladies and gentlemen. Estimates for total number of people who died in World War II range from 70 to 85 million. So literally more people have died under socialism than have died in the Second World War. And, and I'm talking collectively now. So literally people who are voting for socialism, they're voting for death tolls comparable to the Second World War. I would say, exceeding the Second World War. And some high-end estimates of socialism deaths go up to 150 million. So there we have it, guys. I'm going to be talking about that today. We are going to be talking about the Afghan man, who we know has been arrested for the murder of Wayne Broadhurst. And I'm going to bring that back to you guys and ask you, is there any comparison with the article from the Telegraph, published on the 31st of October, man freed under Labour early release scheme charged with murder? They're not mentioning his name. They're not mentioning any nationalities. All they're saying is, and this is what the mainstream media are saying, that there's been a man freed under Labour early release scheme has been charged with murder. That's what they're saying, guys. Now, this person, he was previously sentenced to knife crime. Now, would that explain to you guys why there's been an absolute media blackout, why no politicians talked about this? We need to keep this conversation going, ladies and gentlemen. We do know that there are things now called super injunctions, and super injunctions are that the media are not even allowed to talk about these things. They're not even allowed to say that there is the media are not even allowed to say that there is a story. All this information will come out, guys, and we're going to be able to look at people like Shabina Mahmood. I mean, isn't she a fantastic English lady? I mean, when you think English lady, like when you watch, when you watch Downton Abbey or something, Shabina Mahmood, that's a real good, I always think she's a real English lady. Right, ladies and gentlemen, let me jump onto the chat. Good morning, everyone. Oh, hang on. Debbie Doobs has become a member. Thank you so much, Debbie Doobs, for becoming a member. Listen, for the members, we are doing members only videos. I've started doing them. I'm going to do about one a day. Today, once I finish this, I'm going to do quite a few standalone videos and just upload those as normal videos. I will be doing members only videos as well, because there's a lot of stuff that I want to get out there and a lot of warnings I want to throw out there to the Americans as well. Good morning, Donna, Rian G. Good morning. Silly Gallardi is saying Boker Tov. I don't know what that means, Silly Gallardi, but I'm going to assume it's a nice thing. From now is saying a woman has been stabbed in North London as police hunt for her attacker. Met police rush to Etham Park in Islington just before 9 p.m. That we do have a knife epidemic in the United Kingdom, guys. We do have a knife crime epidemic in the United Kingdom. People are running around going stabby. And look, ladies and gentlemen, do not be under no illusion. Prepare for fireworks tonight. With this knife crime thing, I know I've mentioned this before. I mean, when are we going to be there, guys? When are we going to be there? When are we going to get that final alliance of elves and men marching against the Mordor, the armies of Mordor? When is that going to happen? Because right now, I'm just not seeing that movement. Yes, I'm seeing things slowly, but they need to be happening a lot quicker. Tracy Doherty, I think I'm pronouncing that right. Tracy Doherty is saying it was him trying to cover it up. Are we talking are you talking about the incident with, look, and I don't know what it is, guys. All I know is that there was a man freed. This is what mainstream media are talking about. There was a man freed under Labour's early release scheme, has been charged with murder. That article was released on the 31st of October, and we know that on the 27th of October, an Afghan migrant murdered Wayne Broadhurst. Now, is this the same guy? I don't know. Why are the government silent about this, ladies and gentlemen? Why? I mean, can you imagine the scandal here that they're trying to hide? And hiding that, you can't hide anything, ladies and gentlemen. You can't hide anything. It's impossible to hide things. So look. This is speculation now. Obviously, I've got no inside information on this. Can you imagine if this is true? And I'm not saying it's true. I've got to be very careful. Can you imagine if this is true? I mean, this guy comes over when he's 17. He jumps out the back of a lorry. He's then arrested for knife crime. He's then let out early and he commits a murder. Is that not embarrassing for Labour, do you think? Do you think that's not embarrassing for any government? Do you know what? I think embarrassing is the wrong word to use. Disgusting, vile, disgraceful. The first job of government is to protect their citizens. Doesn't look like that's happening, guys. It does not look like it's happening. If that is the case, remember, guys, I don't know if that is the case. I'm just saying, I'm speculating. I agree, Donna. Why? Yeah, guys, are we all saying how rubbish TikTok is? It's a nightmare, guys. Look, if I was drinking coffee on TikTok, I would get banned. I would get banned if I was drinking coffee on TikTok. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen? On YouTube, I can have a cup of coffee, which is all good for me. And I forgot to boil the kettle as well, so I'm having it like half cold. Sarah May is saying morning. Rian is saying, Rian G is saying turkeys voting for Christmas. Yeah, it is, guys. It really is like turkeys voting for Christmas. And if you guys are in America right now and you want to look what New York, what New York could look like in 5 or 10 years, look what London looks like now. And look, guys, like I just want you guys in America to be safe. I don't want you guys in America in 10, 15 years time be in the same situation that we are here in the United Kingdom. Because I know you guys in America think this, I'm stealing my own thunder from my later videos. I'm going to do this in another video later as a direct warning to the Americans. But you guys in America think that this can't happen to you. You guys in America think that you can't be infiltrated in government. You guys in America think it's never going to happen to you. But trust me, guys, over time, your birth rates are falling. Birth rates of migrants are rising. You will be voted out like we are voted out in many of our towns and cities. That's why I've said, ladies and gentlemen, there is nowhere to run. Antarctica 2050, guys, it's coming. Good morning, Sean. By the beard of Zeus and Odin's eye, New York is being run by a Muslim. Good God, New York elected a little Siddiqui will ruin everything. I think he will as well, guys. Remember, this is the gentleman. So this guy, what's his name? Waleed. Let me hang on. What is it? Is it Waleed? Is it? No, Zoran. Sorry. Zoran. I think it's Zoran Waleed. No. Okay, whatever. Zoran Mamdini has been quoted to say that taxation doesn't make people poor. Capitalism makes people poor. It's just so absurd, guys. It's so absurd. Look what's happening in the United Kingdom right now. Do you like it? Good example, Americans. Here's an example, Americans, okay? Americans, if you think that taxation makes people rich, look what's happening in the United Kingdom right now. We are getting taxed and taxed and taxed and taxed. So all those people who pay tax, you know, the business owners, the entrepreneurs, you know, the people of high net worth, they're going, oh, well, I can stay in that country, pay tax, employ people, and get absolutely fleeced. So why should I bother? I'm just going to go somewhere else. What it also does is what taxation does also is it stops people. It stops people having the confidence to take that risk in business. It stops people having that confidence to say, you know what? I can see a gap in the market here to provide better goods or services than someone else. I want to take that risk. I want to take that financial risk. But like, you know, where's the incentive? Oh, right. Okay, Raven, you want to start a new business up? Yeah, I do. Right. Okay, well, if you can manage to find the money, you might want to remortgage your house or sell everything, you know, but if you lose everything, that's on you. There's no incentive for you to do that. But if you are successful, guess what? I'm going to tax you. I'm going to tax you to the high hilt. Oh, you want to employ people? Well, guess what? You have to pay extra for employing people as well. So there's no incentive right now. And look what's happened to GDP. Look what's happened to productivity in the United Kingdom. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Who would have thought that making it harder to employ people stopped people employing people? Who would have thought making taxing people more would stop people wanting to make money? Who would have thought that, guys? You know, and we've got this budget where Rachel, did you see the economy? I think, what was it? I don't look, guys. I do a lot of international business, and like, so the dollar's always king. You always go with the dollar. But I live in the United Kingdom, so I'm always conscious about the dollar, the dollar pound ratio. And like, we literally, like, after what's the name, Rachel Reeves' speech, the dollar versus the pound versus the dollar just went woof straight. I jumped off so now if I want to buy things, I don't, it's usually the other way around, but if I want to buy things, if I wanted to buy something from America, it would cost me more now. So thanks, Rachel. So for all those businesses she's trying to help out with international trade, turns out before her speech, it would have cost X. After her speech, it's cost a lot more. So well done, Rachel. I think her speech wiped off 22 billion of the I may be wrong on this, guys, but I think Rachel Reeves' speech yesterday wiped off 22 billion from the UK economy. It just absolutely plummeted, guys. Why would you be in the United Kingdom? Why would you open up a business in the United Kingdom unless you're housing migrants? Like, where's the exciting business? Where is the hope? Where is the hope, ladies and gentlemen? And for you guys in America, America is a little bit different because they do have the Second Amendment. They do have a constitution. So here's where New York and London differ. People in New York have a legal framework to oppose a tyrannical government. The people of New York have militias where they can oppose the government in New York and in the United States in general. In London, you just have to suck it up. You just have to suck it up in London. So Zoran Mandini wins the New York mayoral race as Democrats sweep the first major election of Donald Trump's second term. Mandini, 34, becomes the first Muslim mayor and youngest person in over a century to lead the largest city in the United States. So isn't that fantastic, guys? Haven't the Americans done a lot of self-healing? You know, New York, the town with the biggest terror attack ever. Haven't they done a lot of personal healing and soul searching over the last 24 years or whatever? Almost 24. Is it 24? Oh, yeah, 24 and a bit, 24 and change. Over the last 24 years, haven't they done some nice, good soul searching to now elect a Muslim mayor? I think it's fantastic, guys. Well done, America. Well done, New York. In this moment, so I'm reading this now from the BBC, guys, okay? In this moment of political darkness, New York will be the light, says Mandini. Is that a reference to Satan? Remember, guys, okay? Satan or Shaitan was the light bringer. Remember, guys, remember that, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know whether I'm just seeing things that are not there, but, you know, he's saying, so Mandini, he's saying he's going to be the light bringer. Remember, you know, maybe Mandini. Guys, do you think Mandini could be the Antichrist? He's the right age. Jesus. Right. Hang on a minute. So the Antichrist is characterized as a deceiver who denies Christ, a false Messiah who seeks world domination. I mean, I wouldn't mind a bit of world domination, I'm not going to lie. And a powerful dictator who will persecute believers. The term is also used to describe any person or spirit of Antichrist who opposes Jesus' true nature and teachings. Right, okay, it doesn't give you a description. I'm pretty sure... Right, well, we'll not go on to that. I don't want to go all biblical on this live stream, guys. Anyway, let me jump back and get some chat, but that's what we're talking about, guys, okay? Urgent warning to Americans, you know, urgent warning to Americans. You guys in the US of A, get ready for what's coming, guys, okay? If you live in New York right now, expect to see what's happened in London happen in New York. And look, let's not pretend that these, you know, the gangs that we're not allowed to talk about, let's not pretend that those gangs are not already operating in America. I would say they are, guys. I would say these gangs are operating in America, and I think that's going to be a story that gets broken in the next 6, 9, 12 months or something. Donna is saying, last night, I couldn't even get an answer. Last night, armed police, counter-terrorism police, raided a house and a man and a woman arrested, blackout. Right, where was that? There has been a lot of... Look, I didn't realize there was something called I forgot what it was called. It's that secretive. I forgot what it's called. Is it a super blackout? A super blackout? It's not a super blackout. A super injunction. So I didn't realize that there was let me just Google what a super injunction is. So a super injunction, hang on. Let me get the definition. Okay, a super injunction is a court order that not only prevents the publication of private or confidential information, but also bans any reporting on the existence of the injunction itself. Unlike a standard injunction, the public and media cannot be informed that the order even exists or that a person is involved in a legal process to suppress information. These injunctions are rare, typically used in high-profile individuals to protect their privacy, and are controversial because they can limit free speech and transparency. Like, I didn't realize these things existed until that, what was it? There was a super injunction on the Afghan migrants coming over. So now we know these super injunctions are a thing. It brings me back to the, the Afghan refugee faces murder trial for fatal stabbing. An Afghan migrant has appeared in court accused of fatally stabbing a dog walker, Wayne Broadhurst, in Uxbridge, West London, and injuring 2 more people. Safi Dawood, 22, is charged with murdering Wayne Broadhurst, 49, and attempted murder of his landlord and a 14-year-old boy on the 27th of October. That was the incident that happened on the 27th of October, all right? On the 31st of October, under the radar, didn't really make much headline news, man freed under early release scheme is charged with murder. Ex-prisoner who had been sentenced previously for knife crimes is charged over an offence in London. And that's all they tell you. And that was on the 31st of October. So I'm just asking the question, this man here that was freed under, like, what was his name? What was his name? Gerald Pimbleton, Jonathan Westbridge, Andrew Earnshaw. Well, like, what was his name? I don't know if these two things are related, guys, okay? When you take those two scenarios there, like, I don't know if a super injunction's in place, and that's the thing about super injunctions. We don't know that they're in place, and I'm glad nobody sent me any information about this because I can talk about it freely because I can speculate. So I don't know, guys. I'm going to put it to you. What do you think is happening here? Do we think that the Afghan man that is on murder charges, do we think that he was the gentleman that the Telegraph are referring to here, man freed under Labour early release scheme, charged with murder? So is that the same person? Why are there no articles, and I can't find any, guys, why are no articles, there's quite a few of them, and they all give the same headline: man freed under Labour's early release scheme is charged with murder. An ex-prisoner who had previously been sentenced for knife crimes is charged over an offence in London. None of these articles mention his name. Why? Why are they not mentioning his name? Is it because his name could be Safi Dawood? I don't know. I'm just saying it's very strange. Right, let me close that. Right, guys, I'm going to jump to the bottom of the chat. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I know I don't do this enough. I really don't do this enough. If you're on, can you guys make sure you hit those buttons, guys? The like, comment, subscribe, share, bell notification, all those channels that help this button grow, all those buttons that help this channel grow, guys, okay? X82 is saying it's no doubt it's going to be one of the Norwegian fishermen. Yeah, those Norwegian fishermen, guys, they are running a mock. They're running an absolute mock in this country, the Norwegian fishermen. Typical BBC reference, pushing this filthy woman and self-entitled correctness, choking on my cornflakes. Yeah, Helen. So Zoran Mamdini has won. I'm going to call him Mamdini. You guys know what I'm talking about. I think his name should be Mamdini. So Zoran Mamdini has won, guys. If you from America right now, you really need, just look. Just look what's happening in the United Kingdom. Look how things are. Look how things are in London. So now we have it, ladies and gentlemen. And what a fantastic time to be alive. We now have Muslim mayors of the two biggest cities in Western Europe. What a fantastic time to be alive. From now, we're saying the last government super injunction on the press was discharged on the 15th of July 2025. This was highly publicized case. Okay, so the thing about super injunctions, we don't know that that's the thing about a super injunction. You don't even know that there is a super injunction until, like, from now he's saying that super injunction's been lifted. So we're not going to know about anything about this super injunction. And look, guys, I'll be quite clear. I don't know if there is one or not. I'm just suspicious about everything right now. So we don't know if there is a super injunction. What I'm saying is we don't know that these super injunctions are there. I mean, what was that guy? There was another guy. What was his name? The Labour whip. The Labour whip. He was just. What is it? Is it the Labour whip? The Labour whip just resigned, and we've not heard anything about why. Right, I can't. Do you know what? It might not be the Labour whip, but somebody in Labour resigned, or they got kicked out of the Labour Party, and like we've not been told why. You know, there's no information or reasoning why. Donna is saying, unfortunately, America is falling. Government collapse and so much going on. They're nearing a conflict with Venezuela, and the government are hiding out in barracks. Guys, listen. I need to reevaluate one of the things I've always said is that we're going to have a US takeover of the United Kingdom. And I've said that I welcome that. I may not be welcoming that anymore, guys. You know, I think I may be at a case right now. You know, I think I may be at a stage right now where I'm starting to think, right, okay, maybe I'm not welcoming this US takeover right now. Because my initial concept was that the Americans would come in and they would see the fall of the democratic system in the UK, you know, see civil war, and the Americans would come in and that would be part of subversion. Now Mamdini's won. You've got this Somalian mayor of Michigan. And again, you know, this comes down to people not voting. It comes down to people not voting, because people are like, listen, these guys are useless. I don't even want to vote for any of them. But what happens is, and it starts at local elections. Nobody votes. Like local elections in the United Kingdom, you get like a 20% turnout. You get like a 20% turnout, if that. So somebody wins a local election with a 20% turnout, you know, and then people are like, how come this person got in? Because people don't vote. People don't vote anymore, guys. And then you look at your local council and you wonder why it's being run the way it is. I mean, we spoke about Birmingham Council the other day. You know, Birmingham Council's bankrupt, absolutely bankrupt. Angel Myerscroft is saying NY Prepper, I'm assuming that's New York Prepper, has a lot of interesting US content. I'll have to have a look at his stuff. What I just want to focus on now, ladies and gentlemen, is that what's coming to America. And it's a warning to Americans. Again, look, I don't have a crystal ball. I have an 8-ball somewhere. Well, I did have an 8-ball. I had an 8-ball and it wasn't that accurate. If you want to look at and you can never do a side-by-side analysis because of course things are different. The political system in the United States is different, whereby they have a president who can sign executive orders and get stuff done. Here in the United Kingdom, we don't have that. We have a political system where people have to come up with a policy. That policy has to be debated. Then it has to have amendments, and then people have to vote on it. So the systems are very different, and people don't think that they are, but the US system and the American system are very different. So I totally get that. But if but where is a better analogy? Where is a better case study, actually? Yeah, I think that's better. Tell me, if you're American right now, or do you know what? That's a bit Anglo. Do you know what? If you're from the Anglosphere, where is a better case study of what could happen to New York under what's his name, Zerani or whatever his name is, Mandini, sorry, Mamdini? Where is a better case study than what could happen in New York than what has already happened in London? If somebody can tell me a better case study, please, I'm open to suggestions. Again, it may go fantastic. The people of New York may be all, the people in New York, they may be cruising around, living in broad sunlit uplands. That may be the case. I don't think it will be. Right, I'm going to jump down. D. Marie Gen X is saying, but Sean, I don't see Republicans making life easy for him. No, they won't, but he's in. That's the thing. He's in. I watched him eating rice with his hands earlier on this morning. I was watching some videos, and I was watching him eat rice with his hands, and it just, honestly, guys, that stuff goes through me. Dean X is saying, I don't see the Republicans making life easy for him. Absolutely not. I don't think they will allow the Islamification of New York. I hope not either. I based that on an X stream which I watched with Alex Jones. Yeah, look, guys, I hope you guys. I hope we are right. I hope we are right. Remember, I grew up in Rotherham. I did, sir. I did. I grew up in Rotherham in the 90s. I know how these things slowly expand and how people think it's not happening to them. Oh, it's only a little bit. 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 And then in 10 years, it's gone. And you wonder how you've got to the situation where you're at. Amelia Miller is saying drones spotted around Norwich F-15 jets circling around it last night, posted on X. Sean, read Danny Walker's post. Right, Danny Walker, where are you? Right, Danny Walker, let me find your post, mate. Right, I'm trying to find Danny Walker's post. Did it get posted? I'm trying to find Danny Walker's post. I'm just scrolling up to try and find... Danny Walker, I can't find your post, mate. I've definitely not deleted it. Danny Walker, did your post go up? Because I can't find it. Right, Danny Walker, Danny. I'm just scrolling down the chat to try and find Danny Walker's post. It may have been removed, Danny. I can't find... Danny, I can't find your post, mate. Danny, I can't see your last post, mate. I've got this post here, and I can't see any post previously to the post you previously posted, if that makes sense. Danny Walker, can you, repost your post? I can't find it. You may have used keywords that were, I don't know, that were removed. I don't know. Sean, see my... Right, okay. Sean, see my post right down his comment. Right, okay. So, Danny, Danny, that post must have been removed. Anyway, so Donna is saying that Danny Walker's posting attacks likely this weekend at Remembrance Day parades. Absolutely, guys. Look, we've got today, we've got tomorrow, the rest, how I said we're going to wake up on a Monday and go to bed on a Friday and go, wow, that happened quickly. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, let's just talk through the flashpoints that we're looking at in the United Kingdom. So tonight in the UK, it's something called Bonfire Night, where we celebrate, or do we celebrate? I think we do celebrate the last man with an honest intentions who goes into, who entered Parliament. Obviously, this is the the gunpowder plot where Guy Fawkes tried to blow up Parliament. So that's what we do tonight, guys. Remember the 5th of November. So people in the United Kingdom, we have big bonfires. We let fireworks off in the air. It's also a full moon. So I'm speculating, there's going to be a lot of crazy shit happening tonight. We've got a lot of different cultural dynamics. There's going to be a lot of booms and explosions. There's going to be a lot of fires. The emergency services are going to be stretched thin regardless. So tonight would be a perfect time to commit a crime, if you guys know what I'm talking about. Also, tomorrow we have got, is it tomorrow? I think it's tomorrow. I'm pretty sure it is tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow's the Aston Villa and Maccabi Tel Aviv. I've said it that much. You've got the Maccabi Tel Aviv. Sorry, guys, I'm not a football person. You've got the Aston Villa and Maccabi Tel Aviv football match in Birmingham. Wildly, insanely. The Birmingham City Council have said that the away fans are not allowed to go. And because they were worried about clashes, and even though the away fans are not allowed to go, the police have had to hire in or recruit an extra 700 officers to police that match. Now, I did a live stream on this the other day. I'm expecting around 50 arrests. That's what, and I speculated in my previous live stream that I see a 10%. There's a 10% chance that is a peaceful protest. There's lots of Muslim protests. There's lots of counter protests. It's going to be wild, guys. Okay, that's tomorrow. This weekend we've then got the Remembrance Day ceremonies. And you've got all these people in these towns, villages, by their cenotaphs, where they've got listen, I don't know if this video is going to attract, when it's uploaded later, going to attract many American viewers, and I don't know how things are in the United States, because I know you guys lost a lot of people in the Second World War as well. In the UK, like in most little villages, we had... mostly these little villages, and you look into the United Kingdom and you see like big cities like London, Birmingham, Manchester, and you think that's England. That's not England. That's not Britain. Britain for me is the little villages. The beautiful little villages. What Elon Musk refers to as the Shires. And almost all of these little villages, beautiful, quaint little stone houses. They all have. Like a cenotaph, like a memorial to all the people who died in the First and Second World War. They'll all have from that village, and the numbers are quite staggering. How much people gave. These little villages, a lot of these little villages, guys, they won't have roadblocks. They won't have, they won't have people closing the roads. People will just not. Normally, you don't expect cars to drive into people. Okay. But yeah, I would expect attacks as well. Remember, the big one, the spectacular, is London. That's the spectacular one where the eyes of the world will be up on it. But there's lots of little villages that this could happen, guys, okay? Remember, from today, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be wild. Right, there's loads of chat on the... guys, there's lots of chat. Martin Quinn is saying, while everyone turns up at the match, something big will happen elsewhere because all eyes will be set on the match and policing. Yeah, so this is what we talked about previously with a complicated, guys, I'm just going to call it a complicated terror attack because that's what it is. In the military, you would do something called a complicated ambush. Now, complicated ambush is where, so you get linear, you get, what's the other one? You get two types. You get if you learn American tactics, they teach you lots of different types of ambush. There's two. There's a linear and there's a complicated because either you're all in a line or it's complicated. So I believe we're going to see, we are going to see at some point complicated terror attacks. Now, the way you would do it, the government call this a marauding terror attack. I'm calling it a complicated terror attack. I think we can drop the word terror because for it to be terrorism, that person has to have a link back to a political or a religious group. And it's very, very hard to choose that. But you know what? When those cars are driving really quickly at you and people are going stabby, stabby, rammy, rammy, it's not going to be, is this a terror attack or is this isolated crime? It's not really going to matter, guys. It's not going to matter. Getting out of that's going to be your main intent. Pip, that's me, bro, says home sweet home for me, not going anywhere. I'm assuming you're saying I'm disabled, unfortunately. This is a warning for America, guys. This is a warning for America. You've got this to come. You really do. Just realized my light isn't on behind me. Let me turn my light on. Yeah, this really is a warning for Americans. 236 more child abuse cases open, which were wrongly closed. We are never going to be able to investigate those, guys. I promise you. Like, as sad as this sounds, this is on a scale now that is it's unworkable. It's unworkable, guys. It's absolutely unworkable. We can't investigate all of these cases. We can't investigate them. From my Raven maths, for you guys who were on the live stream a couple of days ago, I did Raven maths. And we worked out that I'm estimating that there are over 9,000 cases of child abuse, grooming gangs abuse in London. That's what I'm estimating, guys. 9,000 cases in London. And if you guys want to know what my maths are on that, I can't remember off the top of my head. I said, right, okay, let's use the numbers that we have. So I got the population of Rotherham in 2012 when the grooming gang scandal broke. I'm pretty sure this is what I did. I then said, right, okay, so 1,400 girls is the official number. I then divided by the number of people in Rotherham, and then I used that template, I used that equation, and then put in the numbers for the people that live in London, and I came out with 9,000 people. So if you guys want to do that math yourself, you're totally up to you. But I'm estimating that we're going to find around 9,000 cases in London. From now is saying apparently most mass murders committed on full moons. Yeah, we spoke about this last night. On last night's live stream, we were talking about full moons and how people go crackers, and we went a little bit down conspiracy lane, but I don't want to go down conspiracy lane in the mornings, guys. I want to keep things I want to keep things intelligent. I want to keep things intellectual, moving forwards and get you guys ready for the day. Yes, we were speaking yesterday about full moons, and anecdotally, my friend's ex-wife, I think she's like a sister in a trauma, not trauma ward, in A&E. And I was just speaking to her, and I said, Amy, You know, when it's a full moon, do you get like, do you get things like happen, like, is anything different? She said, oh my God, Sean, it's absolutely insane. When she works at A&E, and she says, A&E on a full moon, accident and emergency. If you guys are from America, that would be like, I think it's the same actually. You get people howling, going, oh, you know, so I don't know. Are werewolves real? Endeavour to Preserve is saying the FBI is still trying to find over 200,000 kids. That can't be right. Endeavour to Preserve, can you give context on that? 200,000 children have gone missing. That number's not computing with my brain. Can you, Endeavour to Preserve, can you confirm that number is 200,000? I don't know if that's, I don't know if you meant to put like 2,000 or something. Even 2,000 is a huge number. Mr. Mark is saying every single one of those children should get justice. Unfortunately, they won't. I agree. You know, I agree. We don't have the resources to investigate the depths of these grooming gangs. You know, and a lot of these people will be free to walk. Martin Quinn is saying there's children missing all the time under the age of 14. People don't know where they vanished to. Look, if you guys, I don't want to go down this dark path. It's morning. I don't want to go down this dark path. Tulsi Gabbard, like a couple of days ago, she came out and she just low-key dropped that there is a market for children's body parts, newborn babies and body parts. What La Diabla or something, the Devilette. They caught this woman, and that's what she does now. My initial question is, okay, there's a market, so they've caught this woman who sells newborn babies and body parts. Okay, right? They've caught her. Who's she selling them to? Like, what are they doing with them? That's what I mean, I don't want to know that. But they are my natural, they're the natural questions, right? Tell me I'm wrong, guys. Are they not the natural questions you ask? Okay, so we've caught La Diabla or La Diablo or something. This Mexican, I don't even know where she is. I'd say Mexican. I don't think she is Mexican. That's her name, basically. La Diabla or La Diablo. And Tulsi Gabbard said this when she was literally sat one space away from DJT. So you've kind of got to take that with some authority. It's not like, you know, it's not like some conspiracy theorist on the internet. This is literally high-end government now talking about this. High-end US government talking about this. So initial questions are, right, okay, so you've caught the woman who sells these. Who are they? Who is she selling them to? And what are they using them for? I never knew that interest in full moon. I never knew that interest in full moon murders. There's definitely something in it, guys. And look, ladies and gentlemen, it is a full moon tonight. If you live in the United Kingdom, there's going to be a lot of bangs. There's going to be a lot of fireworks, and there's going to be a lot of fires. Wouldn't that be the perfect cover to commit sabotage? Wouldn't that be a perfect cover for near-peer adversaries to send out their criminal gangs to burn down substations, burn down electricity pylons, burn down water pumping stations, burn down anything of any strategic importance? Wouldn't tonight be the night to do it? And it is a full moon. So taking all this into consideration, you know, taking all this into consideration, there you go, guys. I would recommend that you stay vigilant at the very least. Silly is saying, I can tell you that in Israel there are some huge scandals, all deep state. Corruption is getting it's getting out of hand, I think she's meant to put. It's unreal. So no one is talking about the match or BBC. Well, listen, Silly, we'll keep you informed. We'll keep you guys informed. We'll keep our Israeli friends informed what's happening with this match. I do know that people, the Muslims in the United Kingdom, are calling anyone that turns up. There's some videos I've seen. What's the guy? Is it the guy with the glasses? Any offense, there's a defense. I think he's now. I'm pretty sure. I may be wrong on this, guys. Please, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure he did a video yesterday, and he was saying that people who are coming to these counter protests, they're classing them as IDF, and I'm like, what? So you're classing Mick and John from Barnstable? They're IDF now. Like, really? Is that where we're going? Are they getting paid? And if so, how do I get some of that money? Endeavour to Preserve is saying they're allowed to get in the United States from the southern border. Right, okay, so we're talking about the children that were trafficked over. Blessed to be English is saying, I personally think we are scaring ourselves into an early grave. Stress is a far bigger killer. Well, let's see what happens tonight, guys, okay? Let's see what happens tonight. Blessed to be English. Let's come on tomorrow. Come on the live stream tomorrow morning, and let's see if tonight passes without incident, or whether there's mass incidents all over the United Kingdom. Laurie Hill is saying this full moon is extra punchy and harsh. What does that mean, Laurie Hill? What does that? I don't know what that means, Laurie Hill. Let me know what that means by extra punchy and harsh. Right, guys, the chat's gone crazy. I'm gonna jump down to the bottom because the time is ticking. Katrina Murdoch. What a fantastic name, Katrina Murdoch. Katrina Murdoch, have you been in like a John Clancy book or something? Is that a name from a John Clancy book? Katrina Murdoch. Katrina Murdoch, ex-British Special Forces operator, now works for the United States intelligence agencies. Katrina Murdoch says, I said to you a fortnight ago, look into pizza. Yeah, guys, yes. Katrina, yeah, I totally get this. Now we've got Tulsi Gabbard coming out talking about these things. It's a dark path to go down, ladies and gentlemen. It's a massive dark path to go down. In fact, let me bring this back up. So what I do know is something called cognitive dissonance. I get it sometimes when I look at something and I think, right, that can't be right. That can't be right. And it is, your eyes will not, your eyes will be seeing, your eyes see things or you hear things, and your brain doesn't register them. Now, I get taught a lot about this in the military because when you get called to a job, when you're in the military and you get called to a job, especially if it's a counterterrorism job in the United Kingdom, you're kind of like the last line of defense. There's nobody else that comes after you. So you need to do those things right. So when you burst into a room, you may see things that you've not seen before. You may see things that your eyes and ears are telling your brain what's happening. The color spectrum and the image is there, but your brain is trying to say, no, that's not what I'm seeing. That's wrong. And your brain tries to change it. It's called cognitive dissonance. So I believe a lot of people get this cognitive dissonance. And when you tell them things about pizza and hot dog parties, people do get cognitive dissonance. Trevor Pritchard is saying, oh, hang on a minute. People are talking about the moon here. So apparently it's a beaver moon, right? Keep your beaver moon where it should be, guys. She means the moon is in the right place for all hell is going to break loose. Remember, don't break radio silence until they see me. How will I know? All fucking hell is going to break loose. She means the moon is in the right place for all hell to break loose. The universe is a game of numbers. Sometimes things just fall into place. Right, look, guys, I don't know anything about that. I really don't know anything about that. I don't know how that would be a thing. I'm not disputing it. What I am gonna, I'm not disputing it. I'm just saying I don't know anything about this beaver moon or how the moon can be in a different position. I don't know anything about that. What I do know is what I've been told by people I trust, that people go bonkers on a full moon. So if we're saying that this full moon is an extra bonkers full moon, expect extra bonkersness. Stephen Ward is saying, there are the facts of the matter, mate. It's 250,000 children when missing, and we know their lives so gonna become pure hell. How is so-called intelligent species we're gonna allow this to happen? Okay, so right, Stefan, I'm gonna give you this right now. Okay, I read a post. It's going to get a bit weird, guys, and people kind of switch off. So I'm going to get a bit weird for the next 30 seconds, and I'm going to jump back on track. I think the Epstein case is not about sex. I think it's about physics, it's about gravity, and it's about new science. And I think all of this stuff's related. I'm just going to leave that there, guys, okay? I'm not going to go any further onto that. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm looking at the time. I'm thinking I've got to start to close this down. I've got stuff to do, and I'm sure you guys have as well. So I want to recap what we've been talking about, ladies and gentlemen. And make sure you like, follow, comment, subscribe, all those things that help this channel grow, ladies and gentlemen, because ultimately it's only your fine fingers that do that. So keep blasting those things, guys, okay? So this is a warning to Americans. You are not ready. You're really not ready for what could potentially be coming to America. And I'm not talking about Eddie Murphy in like an 80s movie. I'm talking about the potential Islamification of New York. And look, whether this happens or not, this is in Americans' hands. The system in America is very different to the system in the United Kingdom. In America, they have a president that can write executive orders, and that executive order has to be followed through by federal, and that's federal law. Now, in America, also they have a constitution, so they have the legal framework to oppose a tyrannical government. Remember, all Americans have the right to bear arms, and this shall not be infringed. And the right to bear arms is essential for a free state, or something like that, guys. Listen, I'm not American, but I'm quoting the Second Amendment off the top of my head, so I please apologize if I'm slightly wrong. So the Americans essentially can form an art. The citizens of New York could legally form an armed resistance against the government, against the local government. That's what could happen in America. But if you want a side-by-side comparison, and I can't think of a better analogy, a better case study of what could happen to America, what could happen to New York, I can't think of a better case study than looking at what has happened in London. It's wild what's been happening in London, guys. And I think the most recent case that I think everybody deserves answers to. This guy who went stabby on the train, he'd been stabby. The police are investigating 4 previous incidents within the last couple of days before he went stabby on the train. One earlier that morning, I believe, one in a barber shop, one against a 14-year-old boy, I think. And there's another one. Now, the question's this. If he had not got on that train, Would anybody know about this? Would he have even been caught? Would the police even be investigating this? Now, my next logical question is, okay, how many more of these things are happening in London? How many more people are just walking past people and, you know, doing that? And is that the society? And is that the society that we want to live in? Is that the world we want to live in? There's a common denominator that links all these criminals that go stabby, rammy. There's common denominators that link all these people together, but we're not allowed to talk about those. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, I want to leave you guys with this. Right, I'm going to share these two articles with you. So we've got this article here, and I will share these with you. I do apologize. The second article, there's a paywall on it, but it doesn't really matter. Because it's the headline we're after. So I'm going to share this with you guys. Okay. So a few key things I want you guys to note. Okay. Afghan refugee faces murder trial for fatal stabbing. We all know this. Wayne Broadhurst, 49, died at the scene, Uxbridge, West London. Okay, so this guy tragically, you can't even conceptualize like what this guy's family's what this has done to that family. And if you guys have seen the video, I can't even. I'm struggling to find words without getting the video banned. So I'm not going to say anything. But if you guys have seen the video, you know what I'm talking about. So Afghan migrant has appeared in court. Accused of fatally stabbing a dog walker in Uxbridge, West London, and injuring 2 more people. Safi Dawood, 22, is charged with murdering Wayne Broadhurst, 49, attempted murder of his landlord and a 14-year-old boy. There's the date, guys, there, okay? On the 27th of October, right? So that's when the incident happened, on the 27th of October, all right? So that's all we know so far. Now, I'm going to share, I'm going to share this article with you guys now. So remember that, okay? We've got London. We've got the 27th of October when the incident happened. So I'm going to share with you guys this now. Man freed under Labour early release scheme is charged with murder. An ex-prisoner who has previously been sentenced for knife crimes is charged over the offence in London. Now, nowhere on the internet, sorry guys, there's a paywall there and I'm not paying. Now, nowhere on the internet does it mention this guy's name. Now, I don't know, and this was an article released on the 31st of October. So that would give 3-4 days for this article to be released. So look, guys, do a search on this yourself. You can't find this man's name anywhere. So why is this guy's name not being released? I don't know. I don't know why this guy's name's not being released. Do you think could be because it's the same person? I don't know. We don't know. I can't speculate. I don't want to get loosely conlid. But there we are in the United Kingdom right now, guys, okay? Let me know what you guys think in the chat, guys, okay? Do we think it's him? Do we think it's not him? I don't know. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to close this down now. I'm staying in here, and I'm going to be putting some standalone videos on. I may do that. I'm going to talk about America. We're going to be talking about things that happen in the United Kingdom. I will be back on tonight on the live stream at 8 o'clock. And ladies and gentlemen, expect fireworks. And I'll see you guys later.